Hello, everyone. Welcome to Astrologer's chat room. Once a month, I will invite some astrologer join me to talk about their astrology, how they made astrology, and also, what kind of astrology they enjoy to work on. Today is one of my good friend. I want to call her my mentor because her astrology has a lot of impact on me. Um, Sharon Knight. Hi, Sharon. How are you?
Hi, Rodders. Yeah, I'm tickety boo. And thank you for saying that about me being a mentor. But remember, you're as much a mentor to me because when we discuss things, because we come from slightly different perspectives, which we'll go into it probably in a minute,
Yeah.
there's always something to learn from someone else.
I agree.
So
I
we never
agree.
stop learning.
I agree. And it's a very interesting. There's so many different view. And as long as we keep open-minded, sometimes we will have a little bit a defensive mechanism coming up. Like for a couple of days ago, I'm consider reading someone talking about from sidereal view to see the zodiac. In the beginning, I was like, I'm not comfortable with that, but I keep tell myself open-minded. That's another way to see the universe rather than, no, that's bullshit. No, no, sounds terrible. And it's true. Among of our colleagues, there are so many fabulous astrologers, and we all have different views. For example, before we start, we just talking about the visibility of the planet and stars, and we all have different view. But I know um, how should I start it? That's no, that's not from the beginning. That always curious. How did you get into astrology?
Well, remember, I am a good decade plus older than you. And when I was 16, it was either a birthday or Christmas present. I was given Linda Goodman's sun sign
Oh,
astrology book, and I ate that book up. I
ah,
knew it from cover to cover,
uh-huh.
and I never realized until I was in my 20s that there was actually more to astrology than just sun signs. So I was a
Mm,
fantastic sun sign astrologer. I could go to places. I mean, I was quite lucky being female, and I'd say to men, I mean, let's face it, that's what I was interested in, um, and horses, um, not necessarily in that order. And I'd say, "You're a Pisces," and they go, "Oh my God, I've got to buy you a drink. How did you know that? Tell me more." And I was really good.
yeah.
But then when I started to learn astrology, people now say to me now, "What sun sign am I?" Then go and tell me. And I say, "I can't. I can see a
Yes.
planet. I can see that you talk like a Mercury, you're always on the go, or you're like a Saturn, very slow and measured in your
Mm,
speech. But I can't do, yeah, guess the
I
ascendant
know.
anymore." So that's that. So I was living in London. I enrolled in those days we had night school. So my first teacher was a chap called Mike Edwards, late Mike Edwards, who I owe so much to.
Uh-huh.
He was a wonderful man. And fortunately, Mike was a Latin scholar and he'd read Bernati.
Ah.
So he incorporated traditional with modern. And then I
Mm-hmm.
went to study with the faculty.
Mm-hmm.
And right up to taking my diploma, I got a certificate. And in those days, they did the intermediate. I got the
Mm-hmm.
intermediate, it's up on the wall. Um, but then I was told you can't make predictions. And I described someone. Can't do that. That's not what
Mm-hmm.
astrology is about. So I thought, well,
Yeah.
blow that. And then dear Ron Gwyn, I was at the faculty summer school, and he said, "What's up?" And he said, "You look fed up." I said, "Oh, I'm giving this up." I said, "It's ridiculous. You can't make predictions." And he patted my knee and he said, "My dear, you need Olivia." And I got back home and I went down like within a couple of days,
Mm-hmm.
met Olivia at her purple cottage in Deal. and the rest, as they say, is history. So then I started with Olivia. Olivia forced me, even though I had no money, she forced me to take on the Project Hindsight, subscribe to Project Hindsight. Thank you, Olivia. And then of course I met Rob Zoller,
Yeah.
and that was my journey. But it was a very isolated journey
Mm-hmm.
because I should think 99.5% of astrologers in the UK are not anything to do with traditional.
That time,
So,
I think, yeah.
it was a lonely journey trying to figure out these weird combinations
Mm-hmm.
and all this archaic terminology. But anyway, I persevered, and and here we are today. After what 40 plus years.
Oh, wow. No, yeah, one thing as I say you are a mentor inspired me is one thing, very simple things. It's about the visibility of the planet because I remember every time when I ask you to introduce yourself, you always insist that you are one of the few astrologer in UK only use the seven visible planets. And I was like, that description is quite interesting. It's kind of a I am one of them, and I just like, well, visibility is one thing. When I consider other things, I think that is really interesting. That have inspired me when I'm working with my specialty on
Yeah,
comet
with your
and the
comment.
fixed
Yeah,
stars. Yes.
yeah. Well, that again, I think it's only Barbara Dunn, Sue Ward, and myself in the
Mm-hmm.
UK that
Mm-hmm.
are strictly
Mm-hmm.
seven planet gals. And
Yeah.
but it's something when I'm talking to my students, I say, get out at night, look,
Yes.
look at I mean, at the moment, Venus, she's so
Yeah.
beautiful. She's
Yeah.
shining bright. And then if you just turn slightly, in my case, to the left, there's Jupiter.
Yes.
And you've got the two benefics in like the what do you call it, in the sunset sky. And you can
Yeah.
just watch them, and then there's Mars coming up. And it does, to my mind, it it just gives an extra touch of magic
Yeah.
because when we see these visible stars, we're connecting with ancestors from 3000 BC
Yeah.
because they were writing about what they could see.
Yeah.
And right, we've got the modern outer planets and we've got the asteroids, which
Yeah.
you can't see
Yeah.
unless you've got a very, very powerful telescope. And and it I'm just always in awe when I look out at the night sky. I mean, not tonight because it's
Mm-hmm.
foggy, but the past few nights where it's been so frosty and the moon's had the halo, and
Yeah.
you can just see the divine artwork that there is
Yes.
in the night sky.
Definitely, definitely. So this is a very interesting. So, for you and the few other astrologer only dedicated to the using the visible planet and stars working on your astrology, and so you are more focused on the traditional way. Traditional
Yeah.
way include the horary and election, and they are so interesting. This type of astrology is so interesting, and I have to say no matter more than astrologer, psychological astrologer, you definitely have to have a little bit of horary or election in your pocket, in your toolbox, because they are so useful. For example, many of your clients will say, should I start my business from today? Well, you just like, yes, Venus conjunct your sun. Yes, go for it.
Well, that's it. I mean, as you know, most of my lectures that I give either here or abroad
Hmm.
are pretty basic because it's getting people to understand how easy it
Hmm.
is. Like the days of the week:
Yes.
Monday, Moon's Day;
Yeah.
Tuesday, Mars Day. And I tell people where's an item, even if it's not necessarily on show, that is the color of the planetary day, because it takes you in tune with the planets.
Yeah.
And so you can simply say, like I want to go to war.
Mm-hmm.
So a Mars day, a Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
be a good day to set
Oh.
out, or would it? Because at the moment, Mars is in Cancer. So we think Cancer, yeah, water element. Oh, season, winter.
Ah.
So when you were fighting battles on foot or with horses,
Uh-huh.
then you'd get stuck in the mud. So actually, a Mars day wouldn't be quite such a good day to
Ah.
set out. But if you looked ahead to the spring when the ground is drying up,
Mm-hmm.
then you could look at, say, a Mars day at the end of March, a Tuesday at the end of March, and you'd say,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, look, Mars has moved back into Leo. So if you've got fire cannons, they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
really good to defeat your enemy. So fire your fire cannons on a Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
And Mars is in Leo and it's a fire sign, and Mars is the red hot planet. So, I mean, I'm joking, but it is actually, it can be that simple.
Sounds so interesting. So this is what we call electional astrology.
Yeah.
Because we are going to Sharon is going to give a webinar on the electional astrology on the 1st of February, Saturday from 4 p.m. UK time. And I ask you to do this again because we have this webinar in the Chinese language last year. And Sharon, you prepare what nearly what 3 hours content. And we're just like, you know what? I'm not going to let you waste your time. You're going to use all this content again this year in our, for our English speaker audience. So that's why today we are going to talk a little bit about electional astrology. You just mentioned very interesting way. Do we really using the day of the week as a part of a election? It sounds magical. It sounds like astrological magic.
It is. I mean, we don't know really from the history books which came first, electional or horary. I think the consensus is that electional was first
Mm-hmm.
and then horary.
Okay.
But whatever, if you learn horary, you can do electional. If you learn electional, you can more or less do horary because it's about looking at the
Yeah.
actual planets, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to take into account their speed. Are they with the superiors, are they retrograde?
Yeah.
With the inferiors, so that's Mercury and the Moon,
Mm-hmm.
which side of the sun are they on? Are they morning risers
Mm-hmm.
or are they evening stars? And that will make a difference. I mean, on social media, there's loads and loads and loads of sites and give me £10 and I'll elect the best day for your wedding
Oh,
type.
really?
But I-
I just suggest you go on Friday. £10.
yeah, yeah, get married on a Friday. Don't get married on a Tuesday unless Mars is
Oh.
strong in your chart. But this is the thing: the electional works, general election astrology works to a certain extent. But for
Mm-hmm.
it to really work, you have to align it with a birth chart.
Okay.
And because, well, let's stay with Mars.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got an exalted Mars,
Mm-hmm.
angular,
Yeah.
then he's got power to act. And if he's exalted, the his best side should come out, the protector side, the
Mm-hmm.
the warrior who will look after others as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to just be a thug. And so if you've got an exalted Mars, then you want to work with that Mars. But
Mm-hmm.
it depends on the context of what you want to elect. And I always remember my dear Mike Edwards, that he had some people come to him about a business,
Mm-hmm.
and he told them that they had to have someone come in through the shop door, put their foot over the threshold at 1:12 in the morning. So, and then they had to have someone go to the till
Yeah.
and wait probably for a Venus bound or a Jupiter bound to be on the right degree. And then they had to put money in the till.
Uh-huh.
And that business, I can't remember but it became very famous, very well known.
Ah,
And the same with a certain television writer.
uh-huh,
Mike told him the time to pitch his script,
uh-huh.
and that series is still running, what, 30 years later?
There's not many series we can guess.
Yeah. So you see,
Wow.
it does have its place, but the
Hmm.
downside is for the astrologer, you can
Hmm.
look at 100, 200 charts
Yeah.
to get the right day and time. So good electional astrology for the layman is not that cheap.
Hmm.
But if you
Mm.
want to know when should I propose to my beloved,
Hmm.
then that's quite simple. We just look for Venus, natural indicator of love and romance.
Yeah.
Um, and if they want to get married to have children,
Hmm.
then you would look to incorporate Jupiter, the natural ruler of children. But you
Hmm.
have to consider them in the native's chart. So
Mm.
that makes it sound really complicated, but that's going to the nth degree. That's when you actually charge decent money for your work.
Yes.
In actual fact, when you work it out, you earn like a penny an hour. You know, it's not decent work. But for most purposes, you can get away with general
Hmm.
electional astrology.
I really like working with electional astrology because it's like a game of your astrological knowledge and what kind of astrology you believe in. For example, when I say there's many different astrologer can working on election, but everyone pick up different rule or everyone pick up different focus on different things. Some astrologer will be more focused on the moon because we know the moon winning and waxing that's quite important. Some people will focusing on for the work wise they will focus on MC or some people will work on with based on personal chart or something. But it was very interesting because you are trying to match a few harmonic, aspect or good omen or maybe say benefic planet in the certain position of the chart, and that is like you are playing with your knowledge, and I really love the process. I I have to say I love electional astrology, but there are few examples, few cases I work on was I eventually, they asked me pick up for wedding was like well, eventually they come back. They say a few years after they say we divorced. They were like, oh, I'm really sorry. I'm not going to return you money, but
Yeah, it's electional astrology has so many uses. I mean, now with the internet,
hmm.
you've got because you can do things by email, like you're applying for a job.
Yeah.
So you look for the hour because not only do the
Mm.
planets rule the days, but they
Ah.
rule the hours, and you have to know what hour. Well, the first hour of Monday, Monday is ruled by the moon, and the first hour is ruled
Uh-huh.
by the moon. The second hour is ruled by Saturn, the third
Hmm.
by Jupiter, fourth by Mars, fifth by the
Uh-huh.
Sun, sixth by Venus, seventh by Mercury. And then you come to the eighth hour of the 24-hour period,
Uh-huh.
and it's the moon. But you have to, well, you should do, not you have to, but you should do, look at the difference in daylight hours and
Uh-huh.
nighttime hours. So
Uh-huh.
in the summer, daylight hours aren't an hour long.
Hmm. Much
They
longer.
they can be much longer.
Yeah.
And nighttime hours are long, and
Hmm.
the day in the winter is very short. So you divide the time between sunrise and sunset,
Hmm.
and if that only gives you 40 minutes per hour, as it were,
Yeah.
then you've got to be a bit quick off the mark. But the good thing is, particularly with job applications, because
Hmm.
I think just about every job application, as I
Yeah.
understand it, you have to send in an email.
Yes.
And so clever people can set their computer up to send an email.
Yeah.
If you say, look, the best time to send it is 2:18 on
Hmm.
the Wednesday morning,
Hmm.
And they can set, they don't have to sit up until 2:18 going to sleep. They can just set their computer up to send the email at
Send email
2:18.
at 2:18. Yeah. That
So it,
sounds, yeah.
yeah, it's kind of, it's things like that. So, but obviously in a short workshop,
Mm-hmm.
we'll just be looking at the lunar phases and,
Mm-hmm.
well, the planetary days and hours, because once people understand the principle, they are actually quite easy to use, and various computer programs give you the
Yeah.
hour
Yeah.
without you having to work it out. So, yeah, that's
That sounds really, really interesting. And it's like we are going to focus on some basic technique. And also, you say we are going to look at the moon phase. That is quite interesting. That is also, I mean, for I don't know in Western world because I haven't noticed, but maybe have some people doing that. But in the in the East Asia, China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, we heard about a lot of astrologer, TV astrologer were talking about. Oh, on new moon day, you make your wish, and you're going to make things come true. I was be careful for what you wish. First, new moon day, exactly. They say you should not make a wish something like later than 6 hours. I said, no, this is not astrology. No, no, no. On new moon day, not 6 hours after new moon. No, you wait because you don't want like we say moon phases. You need the moon has a light.
yeah.
Yeah. So in when I every time I heard that, I was like, oh no, not again. And then they insist you have to make a wish in the 12 hour after new moon. And then some people think, oh, you can make a wish about lose weight. Oh no, definitely not in the new moon and the waxing moon. No.
Hey, hey, Rodders, look at me. Okay,
Yeah,
I am not slender. And boy, I wish every day I could shed a stone. So
me
new
too.
moon, full moon, I'm wishing, please, please, just somehow
Just a
melt
little bit.
this away and
A
let me still eat chocolate. But no, no.
little bit. No, no. That's written in the star. We love chocolate. Wow, thank you, Sharon. And this is so nice to chat to you. And I know we chat all the time, but I really enjoy this. And I really want to share with our audience. You can really apply on the day of a week. And now you have a technique about an hour or two now. And then if you want to know more about how to work with the hour of a day and also our planetary hour, and the lunar phase apply in a simple electional astrology way, please come to join us on the 1st of February, Saturday, 4 p.m. UK time. And you can come to our website to register your place. And, looking forward to see you there. And also looking forward to see hear from Sharon's Electional Astrology
What's your
Webinar.
website, Rod?
Oh, www.aoauk.co. Okay, I will put on the description here too. Okay, well, thank you, Sharon. So
All
nice
right.
to chat to you.
I'll see you
Bye
on the
bye.
1st. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.